This program is brought to you by the Genesis Communications Network, a world leader in talk radio since 1998. Visit GCNlive.com today.
Broadcasting and streaming live all across America. This is HomeTalkUSA with Michael King, where we will discuss topics pertaining to your home with industry-leading experts. Michael King is a licensed general contractor with more than 30 years of experience in home improvements and the author of Contracting with the King. Join us this hour for our segment Invent America with your co-host, the Inventor Lady, Rita Crompton. Discover what's next in the home improvement industry and explore new products and innovations. Or if you have that next great big idea, learn what it takes to bring your invention to the world as Michael King and Rita Crompton talk to America's inventors and innovators. Remember, the America of tomorrow is being invented today. We invite you to visit us at HomeTalkUSA.com. One of the best resources for home improvement information around today. Your best life begins with your best home, and there's no place like Home Talk. That's HomeTalkUSA.com. And now, we proudly present Invent America from the #1 home improvement radio program in the country, Home Talk USA, with your host, the Cajun contractor, Michael King, and his co-host, the Inventor Lady, Rita Crompton.
That's right. Don't forget, I am the originator. Not to duplicate it. Please don't accept no substitutions. Man, I was green before green was even cool. Welcome to the Invent America show. Now I'd like to welcome my sidekick, the Inventor Lady herself, Miss Rita Crompton, straight from the ASD Market Week in Las Vegas. She's back behind Master Control over there in the mountains of Tennessee, right, Rita?
Yes, sir, we are. And, we're still coming off of the high from ASD Market Week. It was amazing. Never before have we had so many people get offers on licensing, so many people taking orders. It was always like we were told you can't really, take orders and stuff. But we had one of the ladies, she sold everything she brought with her. It was wonderful.
Yeah, it was a great. We finally, it all started with me at the International Building Show, and then from there to ASD Market Week, and then last week I was at the National Hardware Show. So it's just great to be back. But hey, you kind of gave us a little sneak preview about this award ceremony. You want to talk about the first annual? We had an argument about that first annual. You got us the first innovation award. You can't put annual in there.
Well, it's going to be annual.
I know that.
Isn't quite yet. It's just not quite yet.
Yeah, but you will. The second.
That's right. The next time we do it, it is going to be the second annual.
That's right.
For sure. So, that's for sure.
I'm telling you, Rita, my you know how my audience is. They technical, man. My Twitter's lighting up right now. Hey, King, come on now. You can't. If it's the first one, then can't be annual, right? But okay, so. Well,
but we're already booked for next year, so that does make it. Yeah, that does mean it's coming around, and then.
So what is that? The Innovation Awards? I mean, how did it came about? And what is it?
Over the years, we'd always gone, to the National Hardware Show and taken inventors, and they would be, there was judging and people were given awards and everything. Well, when we've changed and we're going now to ASD Market Week, and there were no awards given in that category for new, and yet they were so excited that we were there. So I'm visiting with you online, and I'm thinking all of a sudden it's like, we're going to do the Innovations Award, and everybody on the team goes, hey, what? And so we did do the Innovation Awards. We hustled it up and got it out there. And the cool thing is that everybody from the people who work ASD Market Week to anybody who came into our booth as a buyer to our listeners that could go on site and do the voting, we just had some mass traffic going to the site and voting for these new products. And everybody was so excited. And it was so funny because one of the ladies said, oh my God, I won. I'm thinking, wait a minute, we haven't announced anything. And it was because Mike had put little stars by every product that was entered into it. And I said, okay, next year you need to use Christmas trees because this is confusing. And oh Oh my goodness! Everybody just laughed like crazy. So, our first award winner is going to be on as our first guest, and we're going to let her tell you kind of about what happened for her at the show. But she had an amazing show.
Well, what was the criteria? How was the winner selected, though, Rita? That's what I'm asking.
Anybody who was at the show and displaying with us at ASD Market Week was entered automatically. And then the people who were attending the show were voters. The people who worked at ASD Market Week were voters. Our listening audience were voters. And as long as they were showing their product at ASD Market Week under the Invent America banner, people could go in and see the products listed and vote for their favorite one.
Man, I could just see this exploding in 4 or 5 years. We're going to have the convention hall. We're going to have music, bands, food.
Oh, I know.
You're going to make me wear a tuxedo. I can see where this is going.
Yes, exactly, because we set it up, where we were doing the broadcasting from the booth, and it was so much fun because, man, we moved things around, and we put up our new banners that said Invent America and Innovation Awards, and the show people were coming by, and it's like, oh, my God, this is so cool. And, people would stop and look and say, oh, can we, it's like, we're all here, and we're doing this, and I had every single one of them lined up wanting to be on. We could have done 3 hours at ASD and still not run out of people. You
said that. That's right. You said that they were still coming from everywhere because, it was free exposure. We didn't, our audience needs to know that. And I like to mention that from time to time. Rita, we're not a pay-to-play network. We're not a broken network. We're not, you can't get on this show by just writing a check. That won't happen.
Right.
And it has to be, the show has merit of education, but the show has to be fun. And that's one of the biggest things that people mention about this show, Home Talk USA, over the years. It's simply not a boring show because we cover topics of anything that has to do with the home. Now, I admit sometimes we stretch it out a little bit. But
we do.
Yeah, we stretch it, but at the end of the day, it's still radio. It's telling a story. And
exactly. And for our inventors, they're inventing anything and everything.
Yeah, that's right. That's the point. So, they might be inventing a pencil that might not have nothing to do with us, but at the end of the day, he might put that pencil in a construction ruler or something, and now it's home improvement related. I'm just using.
Exactly. The one gentleman who's going to be on has got a new coffee press. I am not kidding. All right, so it doesn't fall into the home improvement necessarily, but it is a do-it-yourself coffee press now that you're using in the kitchen. So you can take some license with that do-it-yourself thing, and everybody was so excited. The variety that we had, Michael, was absolutely stunning.
Wow.
And because we had a gentleman had a brand new tool. He had just gotten the prototype, was still warm and sticky, and he had a licensing offer on it.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, good.
And then we had these products like the coffee press that, he's got inventory to sell. We had Jenny, she had inventory to sell. Randy, her prototype was shipped to her to Las Vegas. That's how quick it was in being able to get this thing. And Hamilton Beach made an offer.
Wow, that's amazing.
It was really just an amazing show.
Let's talk about the other two guests. You said you had the first one. These are all guests at Innovation Awards?
We're going to stretch the Innovation Award. One of the gentlemen that won second place, he's going to be on in a few weeks because they're in their Ramadan festival. Okay. And so we do want to get him on. He's looking at becoming a sponsor for the show, for his tools. But definitely in that home tool, home repair category. So we want to make sure that we get Maboob on. The super nice guy has gone with us for years. So yeah, we have got a great show lined up. We're talking about, wonderful products that we had at ASD Market Week, and we're just thrilled with everybody who joined us.
There's the music. You know what time it is, huh, Rita? Why don't you tell our audience what time it is?
It is time to go and pay some bills, and I want you to put on your calendar ASD Market Week for next year, my dear, because you're going to go with us.
Right. All right. This is Home Talk USA. We're streaming live on the Genesis Communication Radio Network at GCNlive.com. We're going to come out first guest, first topic right here on Invent America, part of our show, the Home Talk USA radio family. Y'all stay tuned to me and Rita. We'll be right back.
to Home Talk USA with Michael King. Do you have questions about your next home improvement project or home repairs? Now you can chat with verified home repair and home improvement experts in just minutes. Get the help you need by visiting HomeTalkUSA.com. One of the best resources for home improvement information around today. Your best life begins with your best home, and there's no place like Home Talk. That's HomeTalkUSA.com. And now, back to Invent America from the #1 home improvement radio program in the country, Home Talk USA, with your host, the Cajun contractor Michael King, and his co-host, the Inventor Lady, Rita Crompton.
Yeah, welcome back, everyone. That's right. We are streaming live on the Genesis Communication Radio Network at GCNlive.com, along with my sidekick, the Inventor Lady herself. All right, who's our first guest? Rita.
Our first guest today is our first place winner for the Innovation Awards.
All right.
Leslie Holland, yay!
A golf clap, yay!
We are so proud of you, Leslie, for being our winner. And this was the first professional trade show that you had gone to, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And you did a wonderful job. And so tell our listeners about the jewelry closet.
Well, Rita, I invented the jewelry closet because I felt that women should not have to struggle when they're looking for that perfect piece of jewelry to complete their outfit. Most organizers today just don't have enough space, and they definitely don't have the right kind of space. So that's where the jewelry closet comes in. It is customizable, and it's a one-of-a-kind, patent pending, and there are a variety of parts that people choose from to create their own layout to fit their needs. And it's very compact, multi-layered, and it holds twice the amount of jewelry as the closest competitor. And all the pieces have their own place, so it's fully accessible. Everything can be seen. You can find it in a snap. And in the end, when you're done, it is an absolutely gorgeous display.
It is, and you had a wonderful display there. We were laughing as we were getting ready to come on and talking about, how broad now our inventor base is, so that it, covers so many different topics and so many different inventions. And so when it gets from Michael's, the do-it-yourself home builder stuff, this is a do-it-yourself jewelry closet, so it does fall into the do-it-yourself category.
Yes, it does.
Very good. Right answer. All right. So you had a wonderful show. Tell our listeners kind of what your experience was. What were the interest levels of some of the different folks that came around?
Well, it was, first and foremost, it was great to be a part of the Invent America booth. I can't tell you. So thank you again for that. And then while I was at the show, I was pleasantly surprised. I had two very solid leads. I was approached by two different companies, one of whom is very much what I refer to as a volume and velocity kind of company, which is wonderful. And then the second was a business that's already in the jewelry organizer making industry. So both of them had wonderful attributes. I like them both, and I am going to work very hard to try and work with both of them and get this product to market.
Well, and the cool thing was about, as we were having the conversation, is that you could actually work with both of them.
Yes,
and
that was a big surprise. Yeah, that it is, in fact, possible.
It really is. And a lot of times, the inventors don't necessarily think, well, if you get one offer, you don't get to take the other one. But again, it's all about, volume and numbers. And you can have one that's the licensee and making everything, and the other one just becomes a reseller for the product, which is great.
Right. So that was the other invaluable part of being part of your booth, Rita, was that I had access right on the spot to advice and mentoring as things were progressing. So that was absolutely invaluable, and it really made all the difference. And plus, winning your award was such a surprise. So I can't thank you enough for that. That's so exciting.
And first prize is that you will be listed then as a sponsor for the show, so your product will go out everywhere that we are streaming so that people will be able to see it, shoot back some testimonials, some thoughts and ideas on it, which is all wonderful stuff to have when we're talking about licensing.
it sure is, Rita. I was hesitant about exposure, but it's really, you just got to take that step at some point. And I felt like I was as far along as I needed to be. And then being part of your booth really just kind of took it over the edge. And I think that this whole process has really been an accelerator for what I'm trying to achieve. So I'm very, very grateful for it all.
Well, you are very welcome, and you were a wonderful addition to our booth because, I mean, we really had a huge variety of products there. Everything from diapers to, dish products to the jewelry closet to new tools, a new roof tarping system that we're going to be talking about in the next couple of weeks. So there was just a huge variety of products in our booth, which was kind of cool.
It was, and then the fact that ASD Market Week itself was just full of, you name any kind of product, they had it there somewhere. So I think that the variety in your booth really lent itself very nicely to this ASD Market Week wholesale to wholesale show.
And there was no other new section but ours.
Yeah, so that was exciting, too. And it was fun to be in with my fellow inventors because it is a very lonely process. So everybody had so many similar stories and a lot of compassion for one another. So that aspect of it as well was very refreshing.
So what's next for you guys?
Well, I'm going to chase down these two businesses and I'm going to work very hard to make it happen so I can get this product out on the market. And then more recently, I was just invited to speak at our local inventors group meeting next week to talk about whether trade shows are really worth the time and effort. And, of course, as you heard my story today, it's a resounding yes, absolutely. So thanks again for all your support along the way.
You are absolutely welcome, and nothing beats the face-to-face, the eye-to-eye contact, or for people to actually, look at your product up close and personal.
Oh, that's for sure, and I think that this final prototype that I had at the show really, really displayed so nicely that I had so many people stop who didn't even need to or want to do business, but wanted to look at this product and ask where they could get one.
I know. That's always cool when they say, where can I get one? Thank you so much, Leslie, for being on. Congratulations for winning the award. We are going to take a quick break, pay some bills, and a wonderful big thank you to our Genesis Communication Network for giving us a home. So we will be right back with our next inventor.
USA with Michael King. Do you have questions about your next home improvement project or home repairs? Now you can chat with verified home repair and home improvement experts in just minutes. Get the help you need by visiting HomeTalkUSA.com. One of the best resources for home improvement information around today. Your best life begins with your best home, and there's no place like Home Talk. That's HomeTalkUSA.com. And now, back to Invent America from the #1 home improvement radio program in the country. Home Talk USA with your host, the Cajun contractor Michael King, and his co-host, the Inventor Lady, Rita Crompton.
Hey, everybody. Thanks so much for being with us. And we are talking to America's inventors. And one of the new products that we had at ASD Market Week was this really cool tamper. All right, so let me explain that a little bit, and then I will introduce our guest. We all, at least most of us, really enjoy coffee. But when you go to a barista, you don't realize how challenging it is and how that tamping, that espresso can lead to carpal tunnel. So Daniel invented the first automatic handheld electronic tamper, and this thing was cool. Daniel, kudos to you, because this was very cool. It showed very well, and the people who really understood it got so excited to watch it work. So our guest is Daniel, and if I get this wrong, you are going to correct me, Kurnianto, and he is the inventor of BOSeTamper. So Daniel, tell our listeners, one, the correct pronunciation of your name, and tell us about the tamper and what it is.
Hi, Rita. So my last name is Kurnianto. So you are really, really good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for being with us.
Yeah, thank you for having me. So BOSeTamper is a barista tool when they are preparing espresso. They have to temp the grind coffee, and most of them, they are using manual temper, which basically they have to hold it and then they have to press it down. And my temper is basically an automatic temper, which a small size that they can hold in their arm. So there are a lot of electronic temper already, but it is desktop. And then there are many more. This is the manual one. And then BOSeTamper, which is basically Boston electronic temper, is in the middle. It's like an electronic automatic temper, but it's an handheld.
And it was just a very innovative, cool device. And as soon as, we got it plugged in and working, it was like, holy cow, everybody understood what was going on. So when you're already manufacturing and selling online, correct?
That's correct, yep.
And so give our listeners the website and where they could go and buy their own.
Yeah, so the website, which is the online store, is BOSeTamper.com, BOSeTamper.com. So we are sending,
We will have that on our website, and the link to the video and to your website as well, so that people can easily get in touch. All you've got to do is go to invent-america.com, look under the products for ASD Market Week. It will take you right to Daniel's website. It will show you then the video of how it works, and you can order your own. But you're selling internationally, Daniel. Give our listeners, how did you get from idea, to selling internationally?
Yeah, so this is kind of like a really long, but I'll make it short.
Good idea.
I'm a member of a very large espresso group in Facebook. And then when I make the prototypes, I show them the function. And indeed, turned out this is the very first in the world, and then everyone is just so excited and just telling me, Daniel, you want to start mass productions. And I also already put the patent. And then at the same time, it's really close to the largest coffee expo, which turned out in Boston, which is very convenient to my location, because I'm just like 30 minutes away from Boston downtown. So I right away spend in all the prototypes to go to the expo or open the booth right there, and that's the starting point. Like a lot of people from international asking quotes and then samples and start from there. Yeah. And then I also start making the online store available for international, and I start taking order from the online store as well.
Excellent. Good for you. Now, when we were at the show, one of the ladies that was working our show for us, she works professional trade shows in Las Vegas. That is where she lives. Mm-hmm. And the interesting part, and you don't know this yet, is that she had just been to the International Coffee Show. And she brought me all of the leads that she had gathered at that show so that I could send them to you.
That's awesome. Yep.
So that is one of the things that, that we do for inventors like you. You couldn't be there, but we had your product. And the people that I hire to work the show for us are professional trade show workers. So they go to a lot of shows.
That's awesome.
And they're always willing to say, okay, I know this person, he's not at this show, but he was at this last show that I went to. And that is what I've got, is about a half a dozen leads for you from the international show that Patty went to, and she was very happy to share those with me so that I could give them to you.
That's awesome. Yep. Thanks. Appreciate
So what are your goals? What is the next step for you? Are you looking at then, just being then an international supplier? Are you looking for licensing? What is it that you want to do ultimately?
Right. So there are a couple things that happen already in the roadmap. So for the product development, as an engineer and inventor, I already plan to make the second generation or the third generation, basically, for a better and more performance features. But then in terms of commercializations, I'm now working with big wholesale distributor company, mostly in USA. But then also the very exciting things, like there is some going on, some business discussion going on with one of the largest Italian espresso makers that I'm really excited right now.
Excellent, excellent. Well, congratulations. I will get these leads over to you in the next couple of days so that you can follow up. And thank you so much for joining us at the show and on the radio today.
Awesome. Thank you, Rita. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, everybody, stick with us. We are going to be back with our industry expert. And right now, we are going to go off and pay a couple bills. So hang in there with us. We'll be right back.
USA with Michael King. Do you have questions about your next home improvement project or home repairs? Now you can chat with verified home repair and home improvement experts in just minutes. Get the help you need by visiting HomeTalkUSA.com. One of the best resources for home improvement information around today. Your best life begins with your best home, and there's no place like HomeTalk. That's HomeTalkUSA.com. And now, back to Invent America from the #1 home improvement radio program in the country, Home Talk USA, with your host, the Cajun contractor Michael King, and his co-host, the Inventor Lady, Rita Crompton.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for being with us this afternoon. I want to introduce Kat Crompton. She is the COO of Inventor Lady and Invent America, and helped us design the Innovation Awards program. So, Kat, thank you so much for being with us this afternoon. What is the purpose of the Innovation Awards?
Well, it was a really great way to get more people interested in what products were attending ASD Market Week. And the more traffic we pull into the booth or to the website leading up to the show, a better chance for our inventors that they have of finding the right person to move forward with, whether it be distribution, licensing, or even wholesale purchasing.
Well, we'd gone to the National Hardware Show for years, and there were always awards, like the Retailer's Choice Awards. And when you got thinking about it, it's like, all right, we're going to do our own awards. We're going to make sure that our inventors, because if our inventors have a good show, we have a good show. And so we wanted to make sure that we brought in as much traffic as possible, but even our listeners, to give them a chance to go and look at the products and vote.
Absolutely.
So for most inventors, a good number of them, this was their first show. Why is that first exposure so critical?
Well, Interacting with people at a trade show is very different from interacting with people you might meet in your daily routine or even through an internet search of a specific industry. These people are experts in their industry on what sells and what consumers want. So they can give critical feedback on potential interest, maybe point out problems or recommendations you might not have thought of yourself. So you just get the opportunity to get more feedback from people who really know what they're doing. You get the opportunity to find potential buyers, potential licensors, and network on a level that you just can't do virtually through the internet.
Yeah, virtual it doesn't cut it. I mean, there's nothing like being face-to-face with somebody to see their face light up when they look at a product. And, for several of our inventors, it's like, okay, I need to talk to my patent attorney, because people would go by and they would look at these prototypes and they would stop and talk and visit about them. And then they would start making some suggestions that often the inventor hadn't even thought about. It's like, well, that's a good idea.
Right. So, and again, it's on a different level, because these are the people who are out there. They're the ones that's out there doing the buying. So, they can give you information, just so much more useful than what you might get. And again, especially where we took, prototypes with us, they were able to see it. They were able to touch it. They weren't looking at pictures. They weren't looking at videos. They were holding something in their hand.
Exactly, and it makes such a difference just, to touch it, to feel it. It's like, the BOSeTamper, all right? Until you plugged it in and you saw it work, and so you knew how it was pressing the coffee beans, you wouldn't get it if you were just, looking at a picture or the flyer of it.
Right, exactly.
And, the new crowbar that Daryl showed, it's like, it was so cool. As soon as you saw it, you knew what was going on. And Lee's Eco Dripper. It looks like a bottle of leaking water into the ground, but when you realize it makes the roots suck the water, it's like, okay, well, that is following the science and makes a difference.
Right, because a lot of the people there with the prototypes were actually able to do demonstrations, and that it just puts it on another level.
So Michael was teasing me when I said it was the first annual Innovation Awards. He said it can't be annual if you've only had one. But what are we looking at as far as moving forward with the Innovation Awards?
Bigger's always better. So next year we look to be able to get more people into the booth and get more people voting. We were kind of running up against a timeline this time around, but next time we'll be able to get it out there a little bit sooner and advertise about it a little bit more, and hopefully drive even more people to the website and get more people. ASD Market Week was so great to work with, so we know they'll help us again next year, get the word out, draw those people in. That's just always what the game is. The more people, the more traffic in our booth, the better.
Absolutely. It was so funny because I think we actually announced it on the radio, and you and Mike are going like, what are we doing? And so it was like we did pull it together at the last minute. It was very successful. We've got our winners, and we are looking forward to getting their information out there. And for everyone who went into the website and voted, thank you so very much. We will make sure that you have all the information next year. Kat, thank you for joining us, and we're going to run off and pay some bills, and we will get you back on again soon.
Sounds good.
HomeTalkUSA with Michael King. Do you have questions about your next home improvement project or home repairs? Now you can chat with verified home repair and home improvement experts in just minutes. Get the help you need by visiting HomeTalkUSA.com. one of the best resources for home improvement information around today. Your best life begins with your best home, and there's no place like Home Talk. That's HomeTalkUSA.com. And now, back to Invent America from the #1 home improvement radio program in the country. Home Talk USA with your host, the Cajun contractor Michael King, and his co-host, the Inventor Lady, Rita Crompton.
So our listening audience, if you heard about a really cool product today, go to the website, Invent-America. All of our products are listed there. Some of them have inventory, and some of them would just really enjoy your feedback. So please, that is one way you can participate. If you are an inventor or you know an inventor, have them, again, go to the website and fill out the form to be on the show. We are always looking for inventors to be on the show, and it is free. So when we've got the topic that fits you, I am going to be Johnny on the spot to give you a quick call. I want to thank our sponsors, Kicker Design and Product Quick Start. Both of them had products that they had done for our inventors at ASD Market Weekend. It was so much fun to be able to talk about the work that they had done and helping our inventors. So again, everyone, if you need a service provider for your invention, reach out. I can give you Kicker Design, Product Quick Start, registered patent attorney. Anybody that you need, we have got some vetted service providers that are awesome and excited to help you get your product out there. And we are excited to promote our inventors and their products to all of Buying America. Have a great weekend, everyone, and I will talk to you next week.
Home Talk USA with Michael King is produced by Home Talk Media in association with King's Broadcasting Network and Genesis Communications Network. Broadcast and streamed live from the great state of Louisiana. Host and producer, the Cajun contractor, Michael King. Executive producer, Michael Mellinson. Affiliate and sponsor relations, Joe Spera. Comptroller, Sheila Gregoire. Assistant producer, Christian Bethencourt. Board operators provided by Genesis Communications Network. And I'm your announcer, Kevin McCarthy. Music includes King's Creole by Prolific Arts, Cajun Jam by StockMusic.com, and Zydeco City by Steve Rice. Home Talk USA with Michael King is sponsored by Bonide, pest solutions for your home, garden, and lawn. Decorators, take outdoor living beyond ordinary. Aztec Washer, innovative roofing solutions. Seal it right, seal it tight. Trimislab, replace rotten or missing wood with Trimislab expansion joint repair. Masonry Cosmetics, change the color of any porous masonry with proven masonry staining. Green Products Company, #1 in wood preservatives. Preserve, protect, and clean what you value, and most of all, make it last. Bond Products, manufacturers of InstaBind, the world's first do-it-yourself carpet binding solution. Deckrite, life is tough. Make your exterior flooring tougher. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Home Talk USA with Michael King. Until next time, visit us at HomeTalkUSA.com. Your best life begins with your best home, and there's no place like Home Talk. That's HomeTalkUSA.com.
Yay!